by Damon Y. And we're going to talk about seeing the afterlife and memory. So, Christianity, the church gave you a little bit of the truth, but they didn't give you the whole truth about the afterlife. So, when we leave this earth plane, we go, it, this is just part of the journey. Our soul decided that it wanted to come to this earth plane and experience what it has experienced, and then depending on how well we do here and what we do here, we go on somewhere. We go to another plane, another dimension, another realm. Now, Christianity will call it heaven. They will call it hell. Going to another realm. They call it heaven. They call it hell. And they got some of it, part of it right. They give you a little bit of the truth, but they don't tell you the whole truth. So when we leave here, our body is the same. It's just in a different form. It's in a different form. So we're in our body, like our whole body. So if the person like had some kind of deformity or disability, that's not how they look in when they leave this earth. They have a whole body, a whole healed body. And what people don't realize is that how the person was when they are here or when they were here is how they are in the spirit realm. That's how they are. And I'm just going to keep it simple with the spirit realm. I'm not going to go into the details about the difference between like the spirit realm and the astral realm, because there is a difference. I'm just to keep the conversation just in context and on a foundational level. So when a person leaves here, they are the same. Like they keep their personality. So if a person was mean and bitter and scamming and a drunk and an alcoholic or addicted, prideful, stubborn, shy, insecure, bold, courageous, whatever their personality was here on this earth plane or here while they were alive, that's how they're going to be when they leave here. That's how they're going to be. So as I'm getting more and more instructions about my life work, what I'm supposed to be doing while I'm here in this body on this earth plane, is to let people know what happens when you take sin with you into the afterlife or into the next life. And I'm not talking about sin in the context of Christianity or religion, because sin is a concept that is not tied to Christianity or religion. That's just what we've been told or indoctrinated with. Everybody on this planet sins. If you operate from ego and you're not operating from your purpose, your divine assignment, you are in sin. If you are not operating from Mayat, which is balance, harmony, truth, righteousness, you are in sin. We're not talking about, oh, I slept with somebody's husband, even though that is like one of the rules of one of the laws of Mayat or the confessions of Mayat. But we're not talking about it in the context of how Christianity and the church has indoctrinated us with sin. Everybody is a sinner. Everybody is a sinner. Everybody is. Everybody is. Now, when we talk about children, up until the age where I'm not going to even give it an age, because Spirit is telling me not to even give it a certain age. It's When you realize what your purpose is, why you came to this planet, what you came to do, your divine assignment. Once you have an, I'm hearing the word like inkling. Once you know, you may not like know for sure all the details, but your spirit knows. When you have that feeling, when that light bulb goes off, that is when sin starts. So that's why you can see children at the age of 3 or 4 and like they're walking in their purpose. They're doing exactly what they came here to do. Like they're starting on that journey. So once you just know like, oh, I really like doing this, and you start pursuing it, even if it's a hobby or whatever, that is when you don't do it fully, completely, and you decide that you want to do something else because you want to people please, or it's not going to be accepted, then you're in sin. You're in sin. And if we don't walk in our purpose while we're here, if we don't do what it is that we are called to do, and we leave this planet, we take that with us in the afterlife. And so my job is to tell people what people in the afterlife, the lessons that they wish that they could have told us while they were here. That's my job. So if you want to call it necromancy, mediumship, channeling, whatever label you want to give it. My job is to let you know that the people in the afterlife, they communicate with me and they tell me, hey, tell the people, this is what happens when you live from your ego and you don't do your divine purpose. This is what your life is going to look like in the afterlife. Because my goal is to get as many people as possible to walk in their divine assignment, their divine purpose now, so they don't carry that sin with them into the afterlife. Because if you never clear up being an alcoholic, if you never clear up being a sex addict, if addicted to porn or whatever, if you never clear up being angry and bitter, if you never clear up or heal from unforgiveness, you take that with you in the afterlife. And you got to repeat that over and over and over again. Unless you have somebody here who believes and I won't even say believe, who practices ancestor veneration. And they're constantly saying prayers on your behalf, giving you offerings, giving you light, elevating you as much as possible. If you don't have somebody here doing that, you're just stuck in the afterlife being who you were when you were here on earth or in earth, however way you want to say it or look at it. So my job is to get as many people, or my assignment is to get as many people in their purpose, operating in their purpose before they leave this planet, because it's no guarantee you're going to have somebody like myself in your family who's going to be venerating you when you're no longer here in your physical body. Because unfortunately, if you haven't been paying attention, it's no coincidence. You got these people, these influencers, dying at like 20 years old, 30 years old. I mean, they're dying young. People are just dying tragically, unexpectedly, prematurely. That's on purpose. Because the more people that leave here unhealed, then that's more people that can't help you on the other side. That is on purpose. Watch the movie Sinners. The movie Sinners tells you that. Sinners, we are all sinners. Whether you're in the church or whether you were at the juke joint, everybody is a sinner if you are not walking in your divine purpose and divine assignment. If you are letting the ego, the flesh, drive you and govern you in this lifetime. The only person in that movie that did not die a sinner was Annie. Because she came back at the end of the movie in all white. She did not die a sinner because Annie was in her purpose. Annie was in her purpose while she was here on this earth plane. And she made sure that the stake was driven in her heart so she would not die with that sin on her. So if you don't have people in your family that believe in ancestor veneration, when you die, you're just stuck in the afterlife with that sin on you. And then you'll probably have to come back again to dissolve some of that karma. So my job is to, through my gift of divination, through past life readings, ancestor readings, and through channeling, mediumship, is to let you know not to make the same mistakes of the people who left here with sin. They communicate to me to let you know, hey, look, you know what? When I was there, I didn't, I didn't get help with my unforgiveness. And so now it's affecting me in the afterlife. Because we have to, the goal is I work heavily with Mayat. Like how in the Orishas they have, like, you're a child of, like, Shango, or a child of Oya. I am definitely a child of Mayat. For sure. All my life I have embodied Mayat. And when we leave this planet, our heart is going to be weighed in the scales. Our heart needs to be as light as a feather. And the main way our heart will be as light as a feather is when we know our divine assignment and we do it. If we never do our divine assignment, if we never walk in it, fully embody it, when we leave here, we're going to be in sin. I'm not talking about if you slept with everybody's husband or everybody's wife. That will be a part of it, yeah. But the main thing to help us elevate so we're not carrying sin into the afterlife is that we got to walk in our purpose. We have to walk in our purpose. We have to know what our divine assignment is, and we got to do it. Otherwise, we're going to die in sin. And there are people on the other side who talk to me on a continuous basis, telling me what life is like because they didn't walk in their purpose. They ignored it. Or they decided they were going to stay mad at Grandma Betty for the rest of their life. And they died with that. I also want to talk about memory. No coincidence that we are seeing AI has its advantages, but it also has its disadvantages. AI is creating a whole new reality for us. And it's no coincidence that people are now, in large proportion, now being diagnosed with Alzheimer's and dementia. You have, like, celebrities who, like Bruce Willis, literally does not remember anything about himself. that he was uh, a prolific actor, made and starred in films that go down in history. That's not a coincidence. People like Wendy Williams can't even remember who she is, barely. That's not a coincidence. AI, one of the disadvantages of AI is creating a reality and for you to believe in and take away all your memories of what was. That's why it's so important to write things down. It's so important to have pictures, a photo album, not stuff that's stored in your phone. Have actual pictures that you can hold and look at and pass on to the next generation. It's important to have the storytellers in the family. It's no coincidence you have laws and legislation such as DEI. That's is deeper than race, y'all. It's deeper than race. DEI is deeper than race. It's about removing your memories. It's about removing the contributions of a particular group of people. Because if you can't prove that it existed, it doesn't exist. And AI will create a whole new reality for you. That's why it's important to know your lineage. Do your ancestry. Do your DNA. Know where you come from. It's important to have grandparents, not grandmas, grandparents that are like 70, 80 years old. They're important. Our elders are important because they have stories about our family that we need to know. How is it that 30, 40 years old, you can't remember stuff? You confused. You got a short attention span. Words are powerful. All that time, a couple of years, I won't say a couple of years, about 5 years ago before COVID, everybody was loving to say, oh, my child got ADD and ADHD and they can't focus. And look at what you have spoken into existence. You have now spoken the erasure of your memory, the inability to focus and remember. But as long as you was getting your check for your child, because that you wanted your child to be diagnosed with ADD and ADHD, people wake up to what you are speaking over your life. And now it's in the atmosphere. It's a frequency. And now people really can't remember. They can't focus. They can't recall what they were doing a minute ago or what they were supposed to be doing a minute ago. You spoke it into existence when you were embracing these diagnoses of ADD and ADHD. Nothing is by coincidence. We created this world we're living in by our words. So erase your memory. You can't focus. It take you 2-3 hours. 2-3 hours to do a task that should only take 30 minutes, if that much. You can't knock out something in a day. You got to keep going back. You do a little bit here and a little bit the next day. A task that should take you maybe 2-3 hours in a day, you got to break it up in chunks. Because your brain, your memory, your brain can't handle all it's just overstimulated. Because it's just too much. You confused. It's just overload. What? And the stuff that you spend time on, the stuff that you focus on that's so irrelevant. But yet every single day they're rewriting history. Your memory is on loop. You know how like you watch a video and it starts buffering? Some of y'all, that's what y'all doing in real life. Because all this is a simulation. You're buffering in real life. You keep repeating over and over again a memory. You stuck in that time. I did a video about this a long time, maybe a year ago. I probably deleted it. But I remember saying this. Like you stuck in a time frame. You can tell when a person is stuck in a time frame based on how they dress, based on how they talk, based on the music they listen to. Because they're stuck in that time frame, that particular time in history. Because something traumatic more than likely happened to them and they can't get out of that time loop. And they stuck in that memory. So it's like you're looping. It's like a video buffering. That's what you're doing. You buffering. Can't half remember stuff. Confused. Literally take you, like I said, all day to do something that should only take you 30 minutes. You don't have anything, no memories of anything. You don't keep things. You don't keep receipts, or not necessarily receipts, but you don't keep mementos, photographs. To remind yourself, this really happened. I was here. I existed. Because this world is making it where you don't exist. If you don't have proof that you lived here, you don't exist. What the only thing that you're going to leave for your family, a proof that you was here, is an obituary? Think about it, people. That's all you're going to leave is an obituary, to have proof that you were here. Because most people are so cracked out, so addicted, that they don't even remember the real memories they had with a person. Because they're so trying to escape reality, or the dark side of their reality, that all they will have is an obituary to say I existed. That's all you want in your life, is an obituary to prove that you existed? Is this memory loss is no coincidence. No coincidence. And they're doing it through the weather. You don't even realize that the weather that we're experiencing is not even real. It's not even real. The rain is toxic. The sun is toxic. And it's messing with your brain cells and your memory. You don't even realize that all of the chemicals through our diet is causing our memory to fade away. We don't even realize all the toxics that we're putting in our skin. I see all these hygiene videos that these girls are doing and layering the scents, and all that stuff is just toxins that you're putting in your skin. All those products is just toxins you're putting in your skin. And it's going to have an effect on you later on in life. You just don't see it yet. It's no way we should be suffering from memory loss that we can't remember. It takes us forever, like I said, to do a task that should only take a few minutes. It takes us an hour, 2 hours. That's on purpose. That's strategic. This is what we're living in is not real. It's, if you watch The Truman Show, watch the movie The Truman Show, because that's what this world is, The Truman Show. You're living out somebody else's memory, somebody else's life. It's a script already written for you, and you're living it out. You're the star in somebody else's movie. That's it. Until you wake up and be the star in your own movie. And it's so interesting. When I was growing up, I wanted to be an actress. And that was just my higher self saying, hey, no, telling me that, yeah, you need to be an actress in your own movie. That was my higher self speaking to me when I was young, telling me that you're going to wake up and realize that all this is fake. And you need to be an actress in your own movie. You create your reality. Wake up, people. Wake up. Walking around here scratching your head, like really confused. You really confused. You hear voices in your head. Because you letting somebody else tell you who and what you are, who and what you should know as truth and as fact, who and what you should believe in. And you really walking around thinking this is truth. No coincidence. Pay attention. The dead are speaking. The dead wants to speak to us all the time. But we're so afraid, because of what the church has indoctrinated us to believe. The dead is speaking to us so we don't make the same mistakes. So we don't go into the afterlife carrying the same baggage they carried. And it's very interesting to me that the church will tell you not to talk to the dead, but the Bible is a book of the dead. Every writer in there is dead. They are speaking, they are dead, but yet you continue to preach their words in their sermons. You quote their words. You make sermons off of those words from the Bible, from dead people, but yet you tell people that don't talk to the dead, and that's witchcraft, and that's of the devil. Make it make sense. You can't, because it doesn't make sense. The lies they tell you, the very thing they tell you not to do, they do it every Sunday. They take the Bible, they quote it from people who are dead. But they tell you don't talk to the dead. But you talking to the dead every time you open the Bible. The dead wants to tell us how not to make the same mistakes they made. Because like the movie Sinners taught or was teaching or was communicating, the less ancestors you have, the more of the people in your family that die and they never walk in their purpose. They never walk in their purpose. And they die with sin. That's the less people that you have to help you. Because this world is spiritual. That's why in the movie Sinners, the vampires were so upset that Annie did not die or did not become a vampire. Because they knew how powerful Annie was. And that once Annie became an ancestor, Annie was going to help her lineage. And it's the same with you and I. The more people that can be taken away prematurely without them walking in their purpose, those are less ancestors that you have that can help you, because you're going to be so busy venerating ancestors that need to be elevated because they died with sin. I can speak from example. I venerate my immediate family, my immediate ancestors, but you know, I venerate them so that they can elevate, but they can't help me. They died with too much sin. So now I have to bypass them and go to my ancient ancestors. I got to go to the ancestors in Africa, my African ancestors. Or I have to now start learning how to communicate and work with entities and deities, because my immediate ancestors, it's a lot. And if I'm the only one in the family elevating them and venerating them and doing the altar work on a consistent basis, like, it's gonna take more than just me to get them on a level. They're gonna have to come back several times on this earth plane, and I'm gonna be gone on into different dimensions. So my assignment is for people not to experience what I'm experiencing, and probably a whole lot of other people are experiencing. I gotta elevate you all, so when you leave here, you can be of service to the people that are left here, here on earth. That you can really help them instead of them having to spend all their time elevating you. You do not want to die with sin. You don't. And I know that in this earth plane, it may be maybe nearly impossible not to die with some type of sin. But we want to die as elevated as we can, as possible. As possible. We want our heart to be as light as possible when we die, so that we can be of service to our people left here on earth, instead of them using all their time trying to get us to stop smoking that pack of Newports in the afterlife. Because think about it. When you're venerating your ancestors, and they're asking for like liquor, and they're asking for like a pack of cigarettes, that is proof right there, that tells you that they are the same person they were when they were here. Because an elevated soul is not going to ask for that anymore. If they're still asking for, like I said, a pack of Newports, if they're still asking for things that they liked when they were here on this earth plane, they haven't elevated, because their requests are going to be different as they elevate. When I become an ancestor, I'm going to want a book. You better be reading me a book. You better be putting a book on the altar, because that's what I'm going to be asking you for. I'm not gonna be asking you for no Newports and no weed and no alcohol. I want a book. Put a book on the altar so I can read it. So that's my assignment. That is my assignment. Because we are living in sin and we're dying in sin. And then if we're all living in sin and dying in sin, how are we going to be of any help and assistance to the people left here on earth? How? No. We got to start tapping into our ancestors, both our immediate family, our ancient ancestors, our African ancestors, our Kemetic ancestors. We got to start doing that. We have to, because we are in spiritual warfare. And that's who's going to help us. Not the government, not the mayor, not city council, Not our husband, not our wives, not our children. It's who we are connected to in the spirit realm that is going to help us navigate what's going on in this world today. And that's it. I don't think I have any more messages from the spirit realm. I think I said everything I was supposed to say. Yeah, I don't think they have anything else left to say. Because you all will be surprised what hell is. I channeled a message today on my Facebook page. I put it on my Facebook page. And a spirit reached out to me, a person reached out to me, spirit reached out to me and was like, they were in hell. Their hell was having to listen to Luther Vandross over and over again because they ended up marrying somebody that they just settled for. And so that's their hell now. That's what they're doing now. That's what they're doing. They're in the astral realm listening to Luther Vandross songs over and over and over and over and over again. That's their hell. Because they did not live a life of authenticity. They settled. They just married the person because that's what they were supposed to do. They wanted, or they felt like that's what they were supposed to do according to society standards or what their parents wanted them to do. You all will be surprised what hell is. Imagine dying and you've been told time and time again, you need to stop smoking, you need to stop smoking, you need to stop smoking, and you just don't do it for whatever reason. Your hell is you're going to be smoking. You're going to be smoking until somebody comes along to elevate you that believes in ancestor veneration and elevate you. And you might be like, oh, that's cool. I like smoking. Imagine doing that for until you evolve enough where you can come back. And imagine just doing that for an unknown, an unspecified amount of time. You just smoking all the time. That's what you're doing. Some of you don't even realize that the activities, anything outside, I'm hearing, oh, they coming through now. Telling me about sin and hell. Any activity that you did that was outside of your purpose, and you did it because you did it because you wanted people to like you wanted to be seen. If you don't elevate in this life from people pleasing and from that mindset of doing things to people please, the spirits are telling me, this is what they're telling me. That activity that you did or that you're doing now, that you're doing all the time because you want to be seen, it makes you seem important, it gives you, popularity, it makes you feel important, it gives you, you feel superior, it gets you attention, you feel like you're somebody, like I said, it makes you feel important, it makes you do it to be seen. That's what you're going to be doing when you leave here. You're going to be doing that over and over again if you don't elevate in this lifetime while you're here on earth. You're going to be doing that over and over again. So think of that activity that you're doing because you want to be seen. You want to look like you're somebody important. It gives you a sense of entitlement. If you don't elevate while you're here on this earth, if you don't clean up your aura, clean up your energy, and elevate, you're going to be doing that when you leave here. That's what you're going to be doing. That's what you're going to be doing. That's what the spirits are telling me to tell you. That's what you're going to be doing. Because you chose to do that instead of your purpose. You chose to do that and operate from your ego and get attention because you were an attention seeker. You wanted people to like you. You were operating from your ego. And so if you don't clear that up before you die, that's what you're going to be doing. That's going to be your hell. That's going to be your hell. Anything else? Anything else that you all want to say? I'm hearing the names Marianne, Catherine, Marianne, Catherine, Marianne, Catherine. I'm hearing the names Marianne, Catherine. Marianne, Catherine. I feel like it's a Catholic. I feel like a Catholic energy, a Catholic vibe around Marianne, Catherine. Marianne, Catherine, a Catholic vibe, a Catholic energy. What is it that you want to say, Marianne, Catherine? If you know a Marianne, Catherine that passed away, that was a Catholic or grew up in Catholicism, I don't. I'm just here. I don't. I'm there now. I'm hearing Peter, Paul, and Mary. Peter, Paul, and Mary were a music group. A music group. Peter, Paul, and Mary. Maybe Marianne. Maybe the name Marianne Catherine like to listen to that. They like to listen to the music group Peter, Paul, and Mary. They like to listen to the group Peter, Paul, and Mary. And maybe, so somebody that's listening or will listen to this, you need to listen to Peter, Paul, and Mary. Marianne Catherine is saying to listen to Peter, Paul, and Mary. It's a song that she used to listen to all the time or play. You need to listen to a song by Peter, Paul, and Mary. A woman by the name of Marianne Catherine used to listen to a song by the group Peter, Paul, and Mary. And you need to go back and listen to that. Listen to that song. It's a message. Or you've been hearing that song, and that's her wanting to communicate with you. Yeah. For whoever is listening or will listen to this. And that's it. That's all. So until next time, stay peaceful and stay grateful.